Hello and welcome back to Max Reviews, where we talk everything movies. And today I'm going to be ranking all 11 DCEU movies from the worst to the best. Okay, so let's get started. So, for the DCEU movies, I think for DC, they have had the highest highs and the lowest lows for movies. For example, they have some of the best movies out there and some of the worst movies out there, with a good thing that really shows that is Justice League. Now, the original theatrical cut of Justice League, we all know how everybody feels about that. And then they came out with Zack Snyder's Justice League earlier this year, and then they came out with Suicide Squad. The Suicide Squad, I should say. So I really think that the DCEU, WB, Warner Brothers, they are making up for the crappy year that they had in 2016 and 2017, with having Suicide Squad, ultimately just a horrible movie that they took away from David Ayer and cut up into pieces and turned into an abomination of a movie. And then also Justice League in 2016, which was horrible. They chopped it to pieces, and I feel really bad for Zack Snyder from that. I have for years. I saw the trailer, it looked good, and then all of a sudden, no, it wasn't. So, I felt bad for Zack Snyder after doing 2 of his movies to have the third one cut out. And so, it's great that he got to retry, and he got to do Zack Snyder's Justice League. So, today, I'll be ranking them all. I will be including both Justice League, or shall I say Justice League, and Zack Snyder's Justice League. So, coming in at 11th place is Justice League. Now, that's very, very obvious for most of you. Justice League, or as I like to call it, Justice League, as I like to call it, Justice League, is just horrible. What they did with using Zack Snyder's daughter, Autumn, as a device to get him to leave the set and to not do his movie, it is just disgusting. And also, everything that's been revealed, like, they came in with Joss Whedon, and I think Joss Whedon, he's a good director. He did Avengers 1 and Avengers Age of Ultron. So, I think those movies are both really good. I like them. And he seems like the perfect person to do this kind of a movie. But he doesn't go with Zack Snyder. Zack Snyder does darker, edgier, but also thematically rich. Joss Whedon can do the fun humor, the good times, but also the campy, I would say, Avengers having fun, talking, banter. But he can't really do the darker as Zack Snyder can do. They're not very compatible. So they just edited this movie to pieces, cut it in half. Legitimately, they cut it in half with a 2-hour runtime. So between Zack Snyder's vision, the studio's vision, Joss Whedon's vision, and everything else, this movie was just horrible. And coming very, very closely behind it, I could have put this one in last. It's very close. But Suicide Squad. Not the Suicide Squad, Suicide Squad. Now, Suicide Squad is hard because when it started, I think it started pretty good. I liked it. And then it just went down. It got destroyed. I hated it. And most of the stuff from that is because you could tell that they edited Ayer's film down and they replaced all his music and stuff with pop songs, which I like the songs. They're good songs, but they do not belong in this movie. Ayer, I feel like he got burned, but I don't think we're going to get the Ayer cut. If we did, I feel like everybody would appreciate it. It'd be nice to see, but it would not be as good as what James Gunn gave us this year with The Suicide Squad, which really sort of redeemed Suicide Squad. And so I'm sort of forgiving Suicide Squad for The Suicide Squad. Well, confusing sentence there. I am forgiving the studio mostly for what they did to Suicide Squad and Justice League, for what they gave us this year with Zack Snyder's Justice League and The Suicide Squad, directed by James Gunn. So after those, just to say, add more to Suicide Squad, I like the characters. I think all the characters in it are good, and I like them. They're fun. They could be funny at times. Like Will Smith. Who doesn't like Will Smith? Come on. But they're put in this movie where they don't really fit in. They don't fit into this movie. They don't have good arcs. They don't work as heroes or villains. And let me just say, the villains in Justice League and not Zack Snyder's Justice League, but Suicide Squad, they are the worst. Like, I kid you not, I consider these to be some of the worst villains ever. Steppenwolf in Justice League, he's just this very weird-looking wolf alien guy who has no backstory except that he came to Earth, he failed, he comes back to Earth, and he says mother a lot, which that is horrible. And then also with Enchantness, whatever, how do you say that? Let me think. Enchantness and her brother, they are also, I would say, just as bad. They are horrible. I hate her. I hate her brother, but not in the right way, in the wrong way. They're both so bad. And the villains that she creates, the turd eye monsters, are just horrible. So this movie is just, I don't know, like this movie. The only good thing about it is that the characters are okay. And the saddest thing ever is that the trailer actually got me hyped for the movie. And coming in at 9th place, probably not a big surprise here for me, is Wonder Woman 1984. Now, Wonder Woman, I never thought was absolutely mind-blowing or amazing. You'll see where the first one is on this list. It's not that different. But Wonder Woman 1984, I think everybody can agree, is bad. 2020, horrible year. But we had that small glimmer of hope. We were getting that one DCEU movie at the end of the year. We were getting Wonder Woman 1984. And I know a bunch of people liked Wonder Woman and all that. They were really hyped, even more than me. I didn't really like Wonder Woman that much, but I was still hoping that this movie would be good. I didn't watch it in 2020 because I heard it was bad. I watched it this year, back in, September, and I was shocked how bad this movie was. It was just, I would say, bland. I would say what they do with all the characters, like, it doesn't have that much action in it. I don't really care about any of the characters in this. It's nice to bring back Chris Pine's character, and of course Wonder Woman is fine, but it doesn't make any sense. The humor doesn't work with him, even if you bring him back, and some of the logic to this stuff is just so stupid, how it works with the wishes thing. And then I cannot justify what they did with Cheetah. That was horrible. At the end, she was just the worst. She looked horrible. She was a terrible character. By then, they destroyed it. This movie, I really do not like this movie. It's bad. It's really bland. I've said that before. I'm repeating myself. But it doesn't give you anything new or fresh or, yes, I like this. This is good. No, there's barely any action. I don't feel much emotion at all. The villains, I think, are DC's. They have some amazing villains. They have some of the greatest villains out there. They have the Joker. I didn't mention that for Suicide Squad, but Joker is horrible in Suicide Squad. But for this movie, the villains are also bad. The villains, DC Comics has some of the best villains ever. Like, you will not forget these villains. These are the best villains ever. You love them. Like the Joker, like all the Batman villains. And I know it can be harder to come up with some things for Wonder Woman, but really, the DC, one of their main problems is the villains. So the villains in this, I thought, were probably the best out of the bottom 3 villains, but still, they were horrible. So, yep. I didn't like it. I didn't like what they did with the characters, how it ended, what it did, how stupid it was. I just didn't like this movie. Okay. This is the big one. 8th place. I know I'm going to get some dislikes, if anybody even watches this. If you even made it this far. Yeah. I will be very impressed if you make it to the end of the video. So, 8th place, very unpopular opinion. I know. Wonder Woman. 8th place is Wonder Woman. I know you might be gasping, but I can't get into this movie. I don't like it. I heard it was like one of the best DCEU movies ever. I wanted it to be amazing. I wanted it to be good. And I found the first 2 acts I thought were fine. The third was just bad. And the problem might be, this is sort of like in the middle. For DCEU, I don't really think that there's that much of a middle. There's all the movies up here. Above this, I really like. Like, these are 9, 8.5, and up. Everything below this is like 3.5 to 1. So, there's not really that middle ground for DCEU. This might be the middle ground, I'd say, for me. It's fine in the first 2 acts, and then the third act, what they do with the villains is just bad. Really bad. I do not like the original villains that they have with Dr. Poison and Professor Bad Guy that was from X-Men Origins Wolverine, another horrible movie. And then Ares, the twist, it gets very talky. They just talk for a while. And then they have this big fight where she fights a CGI thing, and I didn't feel anything. It was just bad. The good part about it, the No Man's Land, that was really good. I like that. But this is the middle ground for me. I could appreciate half of it, the other half I don't like. So it's middle. Okay, just so everybody knows, 7th place and up, I actually really do like these movies. As I said before, these are 8.5 and up. I really like these movies. I like the characters, everything that they do, and these are all good movies. And I would give them a positive review. Wonder Woman would get a positive review, but it would just squeak by on it. But coming in 7th place is Aquaman. Now, Aquaman, he's a weird character. He's a goofy character. He wears a green and yellow suit. He's got blonde hair. He talks to fishies, and he has a little giant spork that he has. And he doesn't seem like the character that you would put in the DCU. He doesn't seem like the character that, like, wow, we need to reboot Aquaman, which he never even had his own film, so we need to do Aquaman. No, nobody's doing that right now. He's not the big character. But what the DCEU did with him in Justice League, he was fine, I thought, as a character. He was this guy that sort of like didn't want to be part of everything, but then he helps being part of fighting Steppenwolf, which horrible movie, but you understood him. And then in Batman v Superman, you see the little clip of him. He was good in that, and I don't know who came up with his new design, but it is rocks. It's awesome. That design for Aquaman is amazing. How he looks, Jason Momoa plays him to perfection. And they really embrace, in this movie, the goofiness of the character. Like, you have people eating fish, eating roses, eating stuff, and also him talking to fish, you know? And it's a lot sort of like Black Panther, I've heard. And I could agree with that, but this is very different, I would say, in a bunch of different ways. It's got this globe-trotting adventure, which Black Panther didn't really have that to a big degree. And then also this movie, it's got some beautiful pieces, like horror movie pieces when they're going down the trench and all those monsters are going after them. James Wan, horror movie director, he did a good job. Who knew? Who knew that James Wan, this guy that's done these super ultra creepy movies, The Conjuring, and then he does Fast and Furious 7 and Aquaman. And Aquaman, James Wan, he does add that little bit of horror in there, and I think I like that. The big monster that he has at the end, that's so good. And I know some people might be like, why is this in 7th place? I love these movies, okay? I love these movies up. They're all very good, and I gotta say, Aquaman, the thing that sort of brings us down for that is some of the globe-trottingness. It doesn't work too much. Black Manta, is it Mamba or Manta? I don't know. He sort of got underutilized. The brother, you don't really feel as much. There isn't as much emotion, I would say. Like, some of it, like the mom coming home to the dad, that was really good. but other stuff just doesn't work. And so, I guess, yeah. Okay, coming in at 6th place is Shazam. Now, Shazam, I heard this movie was funny. I heard that Zachary Levi was the perfect person to play this guy. And I watched the movie, and it's just what everybody said. I loved it. I think it was even better than I thought it was going to be. And the humor works. The action can work. The emotions can work. It all really works. I like this movie. It's a very, very good movie. The villain, I think, is good. And the Seven Sins, it could add some tonal changes, which I could forgive with the Seven Sins just killing people, guys. And I'm okay with that. Cool. Fine with it. It's great. I love it. And it would be higher on this list if there was more movies that I didn't like. But I like a bunch of these movies, as I've repeatedly said. I know I'm going to get into a bit more unpopular opinions with this next one. So, try to tell you why I feel for these movies so much. For Shazam, it's better than Aquaman. It's got the funner stuff, but also it didn't hit me. It didn't like, yes, wow, yes, this is awesome, like the other movies on this list. So, yep, that's my thing on that. Okay, here we go. We're getting into top 5. So, cracking my top 5 is Birds of Prey and the extremely long title that I can't remember with Harley Quinn. I'd say the title doesn't seem right. An hour and 40 minutes into the movie and you have the Birds of Prey. That doesn't work. It's like Harley Quinn's movie with the Birds of Prey. I know some people didn't like this, but I gotta tell you, I love this movie. It's got that kind of underworld kind of thing with Joker leaving Harley Quinn, and Harley Quinn is this great character and great narrator, like explaining things and going crazy over a sandwich and having a pet hyena and just killing people, and and the jailbreak scene and all these action sequences look great. They did the guys from John Wick, I heard, and I love John Wick, and the action in this is just as good. Well, not as good as John Wick, but this is good action. This is like street level shooting with glitter balls and stuff, and it's just so cool. Harley Quinn is this crazy character, and I feel like this is sort of what I want from superhero movies. These kind of superhero movies. We don't have that much underworld kind of crazier ones. This is unique, and that's what I like about it. It's got this sense of being a underworld crime one, but it's also got Harley Quinn narrating. So we have her be telling you stuff, explaining characters, and the Birds of Prey, when they do form, I really do like them. They got great chemistry, and Evan McGregor as the Black Mask is just this great villain. Like, DCEU does not have tons of great villains. Like, even Shazam, the villain's, he's okay. Aquaman, the villain, I also think is okay. But this is a good villain. Like, you really... He's as much of a screen stealer as Harley Quinn is in this movie. And I know people might not like this movie as much as I do, but I really liked it. It's just a great movie. Okay, this is the movie that you've all been wondering. Why has he not put this movie way lower in the list? This probably should have been bottom 3, you're thinking. But I actually really like it. 4th place. Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice. Now, I know what you're thinking. Yep, he's crazy. Wonder Woman is higher, is way lower, and Batman v Superman is way higher. But I watched this movie. I watched the Ultimate Edition. I didn't watch the other version. I didn't watch theatrical cut. I wasn't there for that. I was... I don't know what I was doing. I was watching Rogue One. But I watched this movie, and I liked it. Like, Lex Luthor, I can understand, he's weird, he doesn't work, he doesn't go to the character. I thought he was fine. Okay? Lex Luthor, to me, I think this is a weird, but this seems like an okay version of Lex Luthor for me. I know that's an unpopular opinion. And then the final form. What is his name? The guy that shows up at the end, the bad guy. Doomsday. Doomsday. Yeah, he shows up, generic monster, but he is just somebody that you could fight, and then the ending, you feel it, like, like Superman's gonna come back next year or something. And, like, I felt it. It hits hard. Superman, death of Superman. I can understand that there's a bit too much crammed in here with Wonder Woman showing up and setting up Justice League and going over Batman's backstory and going over what's happening with Superman and Lois. And I can understand it. Yep. Bit too much, but I love this movie. How it works. I think this movie is extremely underrated. Well, it might not be underrated. I think people can't accept all the problems, but I can. The problems, for me, are not... The good outweighs the bad in this. And that's what really puts it in 4. It doesn't make in top 3. It does have its problems, but I really love this movie. And the Batman in this universe... I like this Batman that we get, this dark Batman who is just, he's gone to the dark side. He's still got some light in him, but he's just out to kill Superman. And it is just so awesome to see Batman and Superman duking it out, fighting, and it's so amazing. Okay, before we get in my top 3, just if you made it this far in the video, thank you so much. Second video ever. I know you're gonna be like, wow, who is this guy? But please like and subscribe. If you subscribe, I guarantee, if you comment something down below, I will find it. No, I will do a ranking or whatever. I will. If you subscribe, you give me more oomph to get this stuff down, to put more videos out. So I'm trying to put out like 3 or 4 a week, maybe more, depends how many. But if you're watching, please give it a like, comment down below, and give it a dislike if you didn't like it. I understand. And just subscribe, and let's get going to the top 3. Okay, coming in at 3rd place is The Suicide Squad. And to say for this movie, this is James Gunn's this is his film to do. Like, if you're gonna have James Gunn do something, this is like your, whoa, I want to see him do that. Like, Guardians of the Galaxy might have been his sort of like best film, I would say. Yeah, it's his best. It surprised a bunch of people. It's really good. But this is James Gunn doing this is true James Gunn doing the Guardians of the Galaxy, but also doing like his horror movies that he does, and this ultra violence that just seeing guys get their faces blown off and eaten by Ken Sharp and ripped to pieces. It's just, you see this and you're like, yes. And he goes crazy. He has all these characters, and you really feel for all of them, of the team. Like King Shark, you love that character. Peacemaker, he's fun, but he might not be the greatest. And another thing in this movie is the villain. Great villain. I know some people might not like Stardo, but I really like Stardo. He's good. And then also, Black Boss Lady back at the control room, ready to blow their heads off. She's pure evil. Okay, she's pure evil. She might be doing some slightly good stuff, but she is pure evil. Okay, and the movie has everything that you want from like James Gunn. You have the ultra violence. You have these great, amazing jokes and twists, and I just love this movie. It did something different, where usually superhero movies, big, PG-13, and this movie is big, but it doesn't feel bad to go to the R rating. It doesn't feel bad to really push that in. Like, this is something different, and I really like that. It's something different in this movie genre that it's just a bunch of PG-13 movies with superheroes fighting with lasers and stuff. And this, it gives you something different. And that's just, I love that about this movie. And it is so good. Love the movie. One of my favorite movies of this year. And yeah, I just love this movie. Okay, coming in at 2nd place. This was my number one for like the longest time until this year, coming in second place, is Man of Steel. I love Man of Steel. This movie was just like, I watched it. It was the first DCU movie that I watched. I didn't see it in theaters, and then I watched it, and I'm like, wow, I want to watch the entire DCU now. I want to see this stuff. Superman is the best character in the entire DCEU right now. Batman is a better DC character. He might be better than Superman when Batman comes out, but just everybody knows I am so looking forward to Batman. But Superman, Man of Steel, very different kind of story, but it works. I love this movie. This is what got me into like Superman. I know I never was really into the animated things, the superhero in the comics. I'm just like, yeah. But then I watched this movie, and this is Zack Snyder's kind of like, yes. And I feel bad for Zack Snyder that he got burned in 2016, or else we'd probably have more Zack Snyder DCEU movies, and it would be amazing and cool and epic and great. But I go back to this film, and it's just like, wow, I love this movie. And Superman, you understand the emotions with his two dads, his biological father, and then you have his dad on Earth, and it's really, truly an amazing movie that I just love this. But there can only be one winner. So coming in at first place is Zack Snyder's Justice League. Now, this is what I wanted Justice League to be. I watched it and I'm like, wow, this is way better than Justice League. Well, I actually watched Zack Snyder's Justice League first, to tell you the truth. But I watched Justice League and I'm like, this is way worse than Zack Snyder's Justice League. How dare they? And what they did with this movie, I didn't think this movie would happen. I'm going to be honest. I was like, yep, it's in the past. Warner Brothers, they're not doing it. Warner Brothers, I have a better respect for you right now. They gave Zack Snyder the thing. They did it. They let him do it. And we got this masterpiece, this 4-hour movie with, you get a little backstory for everybody. You get a little bit of something that keeps going Cyborg Flash way better. You get the deaths, you get the resurrections, and you feel it when something happens. Steppenwolf is still not the greatest villain, but he is way, way better than Justice League Steppenwolf. He looks better, he's more threatening, but he's just serving his boss with what's his name? Darkseid? Yeah, Darkseid. He is coming for Earth. He's doing it the old way. He's coming. He's demolished planets, and he is coming to destroy. And Darkseid, it makes sense now, what they did in Justice League. Not what they did, what the studio did, but the missing pieces that were missing in Justice League. With stuff is supposed to mean things, and they don't mean anything. But when you get Zack Snyder's Justice League and you get that backstory, it means something. It really works. And I absolutely love this movie. 4 hours. Man of Steel, I really do like that, but Zack Snyder's Justice League, it's 4 hours long. It really builds it. It's the end game of the DCEU universe. And I think Zack Snyder's Justice League, I think he was prepared for this to be his last movie with the DCEU. But it also, he left room in there for him to do his own thing. And if he does his own thing, I want to see more of that. I want to see Zack Snyder do this trio team up with Batman and Joker and Deathstroke and Cyborg and Flash and just fight Superman in an apocalypse. I want to see that, and I want to see this stuff happen. But I don't know if it's going to happen. I really do hope it happens. DCEU, they're dominating this year. They have some of the best films coming out this year. And so, that comes in number one. Thank you for watching, everybody. Please like, subscribe, do a comment. Release the Snyder Cut. No, not the Snyder Cut. The Snyder Cut universe. And thank you for watching. That's all for now. Can't wait till March so I can see the Batman. DCEU. You're doing great. Okay, that's it. Max Review's gone. Braden out.